You see that day when I walked down there and then they were praying at the church in the Bronx? I really felt it. It's the first time in a long time I haven't been. It's just like when I come in here, I'm like, dear Lord, forgive me for everything. You know what I mean? It's like I feel something.
And you make that declaration because you're not gonna stop.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was saying is like, I've been doing this for years. I've always had this feeling in my body. Um, it's a long story. It's a really long story. I've always had something that I always wanted to do, and I got the opportunity now to being recognized. But I'm not stopping. It's like, you see that day when I walked down there and then they were praying at the church in the Bronx? I really felt it. It's the first time in a long time I haven't been. It's just like when I come in here, I'm like, dear Lord, forgive me for everything. You know what I mean? It's like I feel something. And you see, I start coughing, and I wasn't coughing the whole time. It's just, it's like the devil. You understand? It was like the devil to start like letting me cough like that and everything. But that's all I wanted to do. I asked my mom. I remember, excuse me, when I was a child, Mom was here and she had fell down and she was in a wheelchair, and she told me about Red Cross. And Red Cross helped her so much while she was in that wheelchair. And we were in Jamaica and she was living here. And I said to myself, no, I don't know nothing about Red Cross. You're a child in Jamaica and so like that. And I said, that's what I want to do. I've always, if I didn't have Mom and them, I don't need anything. Nothing, material stuff, I don't need anything. I wanted to go and volunteer for Red Cross and travel the world helping people. That's all that I wanted to do. Always. I have a good heart. I know I'm a good person. I don't have, nobody can have to tell me that. I know I'm a good person. And I do believe in God. Maybe I don't go to church, whatever. I have a strong belief in God. And I've always loved to help people. Always have. Looking out for people and trying to guide them in the right way. I was also the manager of the Lord's Pantry in White Plains. I don't know if you heard of the Lord's.
Yes.
And I think I did a great job there running that place there. So many people respect me. They were much older than me because I was a kid, but they saw the good that I did. I went beyond out of the way and go to people's home just to talk to them and help them. And, it's just something I always love to do. I thank you guys because I want to be a part of this. I really want to be a part of this.
We're excited about this. It's supposed to be a private part of the conversation,
Correct.
but let's jump back in again.
Back in, yes.
We're all created with purpose. And when you get it, it's the thing that, as Jeremiah said, is shut up in your bones.
Yes.
This is what you were born to do. Ironic. The message yesterday was, you can't stop me. And listen to what you're saying. I won't stop.
Yeah.
I can't stop. Nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. This is your call that God has given to you.
Yes.
And that's why it comes natural. It flows naturally because you're not trying.
Correct.
You're doing what you were called. The same thing with colors. Same thing with your mom.
Correct.
And I'm glad you all found each other.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
With God, nothing is impossible. Right? That is the foundation and the link there.
Correct.
And you're sensing his presence. He's been following you. He's the one that's marching you this way, ordering your steps.
Every time I went down, something lifted me back up. I always thank him for that. I tell everybody, that one thing I teach everyone is learning how to forgive.
Let's talk about it.
You don't have to forget. I've always told my brothers and my sister, and not just them, all my friends, you choose your company, who you want to be, and there's a path as well. You choose that road. I've always said that. I told my mom left us when we were young.
Okay.
But she left for a good reason, to help us kids. Excuse me. And I remember I could have turned to that road or that road. I've always said that to all of the kids that I have, over the years, is that there was two roads for me, two paths. Which path do I take? I've always said the right path. Because if you know the wrong path, you know that is the wrong road and where you're going to go. And I told him, I've never done drugs in my entire life. I've never, I'm not, I have nothing against, Jamaica with their things and stuff like that. It's just not for me. I choose the right path in life. Now, I'm not saying I haven't done some little things in my life.
Who haven't?
Correct. But I've always asked God to forgive me. And I've always tried to lead people to that same path I did.
Yeah.
I wasn't speaking to my father for years. And I remember one day my sister spoke to me, and I'm not lying, something touched me. I remember calling him, and I said, "Hey, it's me." He says, "Who's first time for years I haven't spoken to him." And I said, "Wagwan, Wagwan."
Wow.
And that was it. I said, "Let me speak to Melissa," which is my younger sister. And that's when I said, I can let everything go.
Yeah.
I jumped on a plane. I went back to Jamaica, gave him a hug. I had my dad here again. I loved him, I just showed the love with him, and I forgave him. I sat him at my table and I said, "Dad, I did not bring you here to hurt or to bring up anything in the past. But I want you to know one thing you did to me when I was a kid." And I told him, and my father, for the first time, that went on his knees, guys. Yes. And he started to cry, and I was crying with him. And he asked me to forgive him. And I'm not lying. I forgive my father. And I told all the brothers and sisters, I became dad for him. So when he died, his last words to me was, "Marlon." So my little sister called me and said, Dad is in the hospital. And I'm like, put it on the phone, because now, I was like, Dad, every month Dad got his money from me. I sent him to Canada. I jumped on the train. I drove to Canada. I met him there. Anywhere he was in Canada, I found him. He's like, because I was doing that DNA match thing.
Okay.
Guys, I'm mumbling all over the place because my head is like
it's
all
okay.
over.
Let's get it out.
Right, but I remember just anywhere he went, I found the restaurants. I called my sister, and I found numbers of all the restaurants around there, Chinese restaurants that were my uncle and them was bringing him. And I said, "Is there a Trevor Chung there?" It says, "It's very important. I'm his son, and it's something very important." And they would go out there in the restaurant and make an announcement. "Is there a Trevor Chung there?" And he was at that restaurant.
Wow.
He's like, "Boy, how you find me?" And that's what I did to him. I was dad to him. I treated him, like he was a baby at this time. He got older, and I'm the one now mature helping him out. It's not him helping me. I was helping him out. And then he went back to Jamaica, and he took sick in Jamaica, and I still couldn't get over it because it was just a short period of time. He was fine in Canada, and it was easy where I could just drive and see him and stuff like that. And then just like that, he passed away in Jamaica.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, thank you. And I remember when my sister gave me that call, and I says, "Put him on the phone, put him on the phone." And I remember he went, "Marlon," and that was all I hear, and that was it. A couple of minutes later, she called me and said he passed away. So that's always in my head.
Yeah.
But it's a sign. Everything is a sign from God, because it was sad that my father left, but I had the relief. I had the forgiveness I was looking for.
Yes.
Trust me, I had that forgiveness that I was looking for. Without that forgiveness from him, I do not know what would have happened today. Yeah, I did. I did. I called the brothers and sisters, and I let them know, you have to learn to forgive. If you have kids, how could you go to the gate of heaven? How could you teach your kids the right way without forgiving?
Yeah.
I've taught them that all the time. And I asked my mom to forgive him, and that's how she showed up there. She showed up at the funeral for him and stuff like that. But it's a long story.
Yeah.
It's a
Guys,
one day we'll sit down and tell you that story, the whole thing.
This
slowly.
man is preaching. I'm getting so many nuggets out there. Guys, forgiveness, it doesn't set the other person free. It can, but it first sets you free.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
unforgiveness is killing us.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically, and it forgiving someone doesn't mean you didn't experience what you experienced.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean you said that so powerfully.
Correct.
It doesn't mean you forget.
No, correct.
But what you demonstrated was, I didn't forget. I even expressed to him something that hurt me, which is okay to do, but you made a choice.
Yes.
So I'm learning, even in what you just said, that forgiveness is a choice.
It is.
And it requires action. So you didn't just say it with your mouth. I took so much from everything you just said. You didn't just say it with your mouth, but you backed it up with action.
Correct.
You sought after him. You are the one doing the forgiving, and you sought after him.
Correct.
Wow.
And that I had him because, and I prayed to God that I said, God, please forgive him for anything he has done in his life. Please, and I beg the Lord that he'll take him there to heaven, you know, until I reach there one day, you know. I ask him for that. I pray for my brothers and sisters every day. I pray for everybody every single day. I'll be honest, you know, that's even mom. I can't see myself without my mom, you know.
You guys are so close.
Yeah, it's
so
very,
beautiful.
very hard. Very, very hard, you know. We have a little rumpy road, you know, every kid and their
right.
mother. But, you know, yes, if mom cries, I cry. You know, if mommy in pain, I'm in pain. And that's how I feel it, you know.
Yeah.
But with my dad, I thank God because I had a relief in my heart. I had the forgiveness that I wanted to hear from him. And I can't explain to you the feeling that I had. And I'm going to give you a story that really happened. I flew down to Jamaica the following day.
After he passed?
After he passed. I jumped on that plane and I was there in Jamaica the following day. The morning I got up, early morning I got up, I went to the coffee with my coffee. I'm an early bird. Walked to the gate. It's a wall. It's like, you know, one of those walls. And it's a main road right there where taxi drivers drive past. And I remember I walked up and this taxi driver draw the brakes. And he said, "But wait, Mr. Chung, how them say you're dead?"
Wait.
Yes. I mean, their car is full of people, you know, it's like 3 people in the front, 6 people in the back, and that brakes, you can see the smoke off the car. "Oh, but Mr. Chung, how them say you're dead?" And I broke down.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I did. And then I remember the night. It was in the night, you know, they call it the night when they do that night thing. And there were so many people. If I showed you so many people that was in the lawn all over, where everybody had a candle. And I was trying to be strong enough for all the siblings and things, you know, knowing that I was really close to that. I was really, you know.
What number you fall?
I am
in the siblings.
In the siblings, God, guys, there's so much of us. There's like, I think there's 21 of us.
Ooh,
so I'm trying to figure out exactly.
You beat me. It's 14 of us.
21.
I'll finally meet somebody who beat me.
So I am the second to youngest boy.
Okay. I had a feeling you were amongst the babies.
Yes, I was a baby at one point for him I'm the baby for my mom with him. First marriage and everything like that. And I remember that same night when everybody realized I couldn't hold back anymore. And the whole time I was trying to be calm. And one lady, I did not know who she was. It's later on, I found out it's one of my cousins that I didn't know it was my cousin. I just thought it was somebody there, 2 of them actually. And they came to me and says, "Son, we see what's happening. Go around the corner, let it out." And they brought me to the corner of the house.
You bawl.
If I bawl. I bawl so much. But let me tell you guys, I might be tearing up now, but in my heart, I have a relief in my heart. I really do. I have a relief in my heart. I really do.
I'm glad you were able to reconcile, because there's so many people that they never get to reconcile with their parent or loved one. It ended, you know, we weren't talking and that's it. And I'm so happy you were able to do that.
And I did it for the other brothers and sisters. They forgave him. Wow. Because of me.
It took the power of one to do that. See why we have to honor you, sir?
Yes, they did.
You, the heart of God listening to what you just said, and we said you made this step, you made the choice to forgive, and you made the step towards forgiving the person who hurt you.
Correct.
Who does that sound like? It sounds like your Father, God.
Correct.
In the garden, Adam and Eve disobeyed. They ran from him because Satan likes to keep us in shame.
Correct.
He came after them. He came looking for them. And he didn't curse the man. He cursed the serpent, right? And remember, at that point, they saw that they were naked and they tried to fix up themselves, and they tie fig leaves together. But the Bible tells us in Genesis 3 that God slayed a lamb that's an animal. It didn't say what type, but that represents Jesus Christ. And it said he took it and put clothes on them.
Correct.
So they just messed up his whole thing. Yet he went after them like you did your Father, and he forgave them. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believe, you should believe in Jesus Christ's finished work, not on your good works, though God has called you to do those good works. But what do you believe? You believe that God loved you so much that he gave Christ for you?
Oh, definitely.
Then you are saved.
Yes, oh, definitely. Yes.
That's on the merit. And everything else, God is working through you to do great works in the earth. And it's not just Jamaica. I'm carrying you to Nigeria with me.
I'm coming. I want to help all over. Is it as said, I do not want, it's not just Jamaica. I want to, it's where, exactly what I said, is where God tells me to go next.
Yes.
Because I've been to so many other little countries. And my mom will tell you how I am. All the kids. I'll give you a little quick explanation. We had a store in Mount Kisco. And a lot of our clientels were from Honduras. Not only because they were from Honduras, because we had done it for any other country. The first thing how we got involved with Honduras was one of the guys was driving a car, and he came out. Something where the car hit him, killed him. The family, they cannot go back because they're not legal here. So they came up to my mom, and my mom went there by herself to Honduras. And brought the body back for the family. So that's how it all started. And after that, that's when Hurricane Mitch came.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Mom and I, everybody, I remember so much people coming to us. Please, Ayuda, my family, I can't hear. And Mom and I, we sat down and discussed it and said, let's go. Let's see if we can help these people out. And we sent barrels of clothes and food and everything to Honduras. If I tell you what we went through and what we had to go through, nobody would ever believe it.
Just pick up on yourself and went to Honduras.
A country which we don't speak Spanish and everything. So the first day of arriving in Honduras, they gave you a mask. And the mask was because so many people died. In Honduras, most of their houses are built with clay and things. So when the mountain came down, it washed away so many people. They were digging up bodies. I mean, people crying. It was just unbelievable. But anyway, getting to where we were, there was no Americans. We were in the jungle called Amaskiri. And for us to reach there, I'm going to tell you the first bridge I would never forget. So I'm in the van back, Mom is in the front. The bridge is gone. When you look in the river, just shooting down. And Mom says, we gotta go. I do not know how it happened, but they used a crane from the other side and threw it over, and they tied that onto the truck. Would you believe it was a crane pulling us across that water?
Wow.
And the truck is pushing away, and we're saying, we're going to die. We're going to, Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's the first one. The next bridge that came up the bridge was gone. There was no crane on that side. They had to put I think it was a 4x4. And that truck driver drove across. If he had gone over, we were all gone again. I mean, the things, we saw a body on the road. the guy says not to stop because there could be an ambush because it's one way, it's a small, it's dark, and we went through curfews. We went through so much things. Anyway, when we reached there, it was night, and the early morning when we woke up, all these kids, all these people, they had no homes. They were crying. They were digging up bodies, and I mean, Mom and I, we had to, we did cry. We cried and everything.
Wow.
So we sent out people to get water and start boiling the water, and we put 2 plastic chairs underneath the mango tree, and we started from kids first and elderly people, and Mom and I was washing their wounds and taking care of them, and then we started with the ladies. Now everybody started cooking, and Mom is paying for everything. People, they lost everything, so we were even buying the things from them. Like we bought a pig, and of course that was the cheapest thing we had there. There was nothing else there, so we had them cook that. Mommy cooked it.
The pig?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And
So
ladies
which are the pig?
the people there.
Wow.
The people there, and Mommy, and then we took the food down to where people lost their home.
Yeah.
They were staying at the school and the church. The whole community came there. And Mom, we fed everybody. We fed everybody in that community got something.
Beautiful.
Everybody got,
Beautiful.
And I remember the night at the church. I went up to the church just one night. They have no light there. It was later on. They had electric in that area. There's no electric. All those times there's no electric. So in the night it's all candles or curtain, And I remember I went up to the church, and I didn't want to go inside. I stayed by the window. And
why you didn't want to go in?
At the time, because people knew who I was, I would draw this attention from them while they should be there praying and things. That was one of my things, and I wanted them to see
focus.
Focus, and not me going inside. And I watched when they tried to do the collection van. These poor people didn't have it. It went right around. And I remember taking those $200 and I put it in there.
Wow.
And when it went around and they saw it, and they said it was him, and I just waved, and I went back home and everything, like to where we were staying there. But let me tell you, the things we have done. I mean, they call me Jesus.
Jesus, okay.
Yeah. And they call as the same thing. They always call them. They respect Mama Pauline and everything like that. But that was our first experience. As a matter of fact, if you watch one of Mom's video, you'll see one of the ladies there that came to America after all of these years, and that was her son who died, that Mommy brought back the body for. And she said no, she has to see Aunty Pauline. And she came, they brought her to the house, and then she came on, and she was thanking Mommy, muchas gracias. She'd never forget.
That is amazing.
What happened. Yes, she's on one of Mom's videos. You'll see it.
I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah. She went back and built a house there. Mom did.
She did?
Yeah. She built it for this old lady because
Yeah, it's okay.
Very old lady, and she slept into one of those, those little hammock. Kids on the floor. We brought a barrel down with food and everything, and we said we had to go. First thing we did was bought her the bed and the barrel, and a couple of years later we go back and she still has the barrel there with the food and everything. We're like, no, it's for you, and everything. Like, I would give her my money because it's not, too much people around. I'll give her. That old lady never slept. She pushed all of my money right down here and got it with her life.
Yeah.
She was a mamita. I
Mamita.
loved her so much. Later on in life, she passed. So she was a very elderly woman and so like that. But when you go there and see these little kids, how beautiful they are, no shoes, they have wounds all over, and I always said that I would love to go back and help out. Just go back and help out.
One of the things I would love to do is medical missions.
Yeah.
And I'm collecting medical supplies, but nowadays some countries, if they're near the date, they won't let them in.
Correct.
So yeah, that's definitely
and Pampers
something.
And things, which is very difficult now. Certain countries don't want you to bring in certain things.
Yeah.
You'd have to have it there early, like the date wise and things. And even Pampers have dates on there, guys.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but Same thing. I remember I came here. I was early here. I didn't even have work yet. I just get allowance from mom. And I remember watching that thing on the channel. You remember when you can take care of one kid and it says 19 cents a day to help out.
Yes.
And I remember
Feed the
just
children.
feed the children.
Yep.
And I did
Yep.
that. And I did it for a long time, guys. I would walk around and pick up every penny because I had to send that money. And I fed this little girl and they sent pictures of her with me for I still have pictures of her when she was little. And then time came where, I couldn't do it anymore. And I had to stop. But
Awesome.
that doesn't mean I didn't stop doing things here.
Of course.
I did a lot of things.
Truly compassionate. That is the award we felt led, the honor to give to you. Yeah. Truly compassionate, truly philanthropic. And it is definitely befitting.
Yeah.
Compassion is a gift. Yeah. What you have is a gift from God.
I cannot, and I will not. I can't do it. Even if it's not somebody who's hungry, like poor or something like that. I'm talking about in general. Just like the other day in the Bronx, there was a couple ladies there with colas and everything like that, and there was no food there. And then a friend brought food for all of us. I couldn't eat. I told him, it's like, why go ahead? The one who brought food and everybody else. Go and eat. I said, how could I stand there and eat and I'm not sure if those people are hungry? I couldn't do it. I could not have done it. I couldn't do it. I told them. They all know that. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. It's something I can't do. If I'm there eating something and I see a kid, I'm going to make sure that kid is eating something first. I cannot eat. I can't do it. Anybody. That's just how I am.
And love. God's idea of love is preferring someone over yourself.
Correct.
It doesn't say put down yourself.
Yes. Correct.
Because it says you have to love your neighbor as yourself.
Correct.
But there's times where I have to put somebody before me.
Correct.
Somebody else in need. And I just want to thank you. I thank God for you and the heart that He's given you and the space that He's given you to do what you do. You've been doing it since before YouTube. It's just naturally who you are and who Aunty Pauline is, my mommy, my adopted mommy. So I'm your sister now.
Correct.
Right?
That's how it is.
I love her dearly. I had to go pick up my son soon.
I know.
So this part here was not supposed to be
correct.
I just asked him, can I turn on the camera? We were having a moment.
Brother and sister moment.
Yes. And I just want to thank you for being so willing to share your heart. And
one day I will sit down and and I'll explain to you a lot more. There's so much. There's a book to be written.
Are you going to write it?
The family, certain things I can't say because my family is so private.
Yeah.
But what I could share, I will share and stuff like that. But guys, go over and watch Paid Forward.
Paid Forward. Got it.
Have you watched it before?
Is that a movie?
It's a movie.
Paid Forward. Is it where they were like passing? It sounds familiar.
The little boy who went to school and
that's a good movie. Yes.
So in the next one, I'll tell you about my son it's not my birth son, but my heart. It were three of them, and I'll tell you in another story.
Okay.
And here it is. Just recently, I filed for him to support him, to help him, since his father died and his grandmother died. And I got so attached to them and so like that, and he needs help. I had filed for him, and just when, came in power back, they said that the case was closed because it's Venezuela. And,
we're having some issues with them.
Guys, you would not believe it. Yesterday, I just popped onto my phone and to see a message came up. And it said, reviewing your case again. I'm not lying. I ran outside. I cried. Hallelujah! I called him. I said, thank you, God. I said, thank you, God. So no, they're now reviewing the case again.
Who could that be but God? Can't stop this.
Correct.
God opens doors that nobody else can shut.
Correct. So just
not even immigration.
Yeah, correct. So I was surprised. Guys, I thought that was it. I didn't know how to get him here. And then just yesterday, out of the blue, I was going through a whole lot yesterday. And then that just popped up on my phone, and I'm like, what? I just couldn't believe it. I called, I just had to run outside. I'm not like, I said, thank you, God. Thank you, God. I called him, and tears were in his eyes, because, he's like, I was like his last straw, for him. Yeah, that's to show people.
How old is he now?
Jason, it's Jensen, is about 24 now, 24. But if you ever hear his story, how everything happened, and it's still happening in Venezuela. His parents sent him and his brother to Colombia because their government there was taking the young boys, put them in the army and doing things. And his mother, they had to sell every little thing they had, pack up their little bags, and send them there. And on the way to Colombia from Venezuela, the brother, who was, I think, 18 years old, Jason was only 12 or 13 at that time, his brother died. And he continued. He's like, do I go back? Do I go back?
At 12.
At 12, 13. And you should see the little thing. If I showed you a picture how little he is, he's still skinny and little.
He has a page, right?
I did. I started out, and I told him he has nothing, because they only have 4 hours of power still.
Okay.
So they don't have that. And the little time they have the power, he can't afford to be making recording. Yeah. They have to save their battery for important things.
Understood.
Like that. So I told Colors about him. And Colors said to me that it might help him to go to Jamaica and give him some work.
Over from there. Awesome.
We have a home,
awesome.
But it's in Kingston. So I'm looking now. I have to find a place in Kingston just for a room to rent, but somewhere close to where they are.
Okay.
I don't want him because he doesn't speak much English, and I have to protect him.
Yeah.
So I want something closer to where Colas is.
Okay.
And I will try to help to pay for, I'll pay for it, the room for him there in Kingston.
Okay.
Wherever, where
amazing. Amazing. God will work it out. God is allowing these connections for a reason. I can talk to you forever. Like, I feel like we've known each other forever. And I just love your heart, and I love your heart for people. Yeah. It's a rare gem that we have in you, and your community. Yeah. So I just thank you for taking this time to chat with KO from Grace to Grow. Please don't forget that we are honoring Mr. Marlon Chung and Aunty Pauline from Yard to Abroad on Saturday, July 26th at the CV Rich Mansion. If you put it in, it'll pop up in your maps in White Plains, New York. It starts at 5 p.m. It's going to be a spectacular night, and all of the proceeds, $150 per ticket, or you can do a group sale or just do a donation, $60 for kids. All proceeds go towards Hope Through Education Project, towards the Learning Tree, and towards Children's Village in Westchester County. Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We love you.
Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.